Awesome. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Ketki Ogle. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BHyve. And today you are here for the very first Buzzbox live session of 2025. Our journey with Buzzbox Live actually started last year when we launched our generative AI products. We hosted a short webinar to help people understand the idea, understand the technology, understand its use cases for the kind of companies we work with. And the idea was to create conversations and bring actionable insights to our business leaders. Post the session, we got a lot of feedback, a lot of interesting conversations where people said, "Let's do more of these sessions." So with that in mind, this year we're going to be doing 12 Buzzbox live sessions. Every month, one new key leader, one interesting topic, lots of actionables, lots of insights, a chance to really interact on applied use cases of knowledge management, discuss topics like productivity in a hybrid environment, discussing culture of knowledge excellence, implications in quality, implications in safety, and so on and so forth. And so that is what we bring to you today, the very first session of Buzzbox Live. What we're also really excited about is our guest today. Vikas Bhatia has been an early customer, early champion of BHyve, and so it completely made sense to have him as the first guest for 2025. So Vikas, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure, Ketki, and the entire BHyve team.
A little bit about Vikas. We're going to talk about Vikas professional formally, and then a little bit of an informal um, about Vikas, especially in the context of how we met and how our interaction was. So coming to Vikas, Vikas is a leader um, and has been a seasoned leader in business transformation and coaching. He brings over 3 decades of experience in different industries like manufacturing, IT, and leadership development. As the former managing director of Rieco Industries, he led the organization through significant growth and innovation, exploring digital technologies and how they can help the company thrive. With a career spanning roles in Capgemini, Philips, and the Pragati Leadership Institute, Vikas has developed his expertise in organizational development, talent management, and transformational leadership. He is now channeling his passion into mentoring CEOs through his two new ventures, TalentNovo and LeaderNovo. Vikas, this is a little bit about you, which is literally grabbed from your LinkedIn, but I want to share a personal story. I don't know if you remember, but back in 2021, we had done maybe one or two pitch presentations to you about BHyve, and then we used to send you some, rudimentary newsletters. And then you called me one Sunday and you said, "Hi, Ketki, I'm Vikas. I just saw your newsletter. I want to know, can BHyve do this? Can BHyve do that? Can it help me send notes to my team members? Can it help me answer their questions? Can my engineers talk to the experts from the shop floor?" And when I answered all of those questions, it was literally a 10-minute conversation. And you said, "Yes, let's bring BHyve." And that was the beginning of an amazing partnership that we've done. So I'm
Yes,
really
yes, I do remember that it was a Sunday.
it was the first time I had a leader actually call back and have such a thoughtful discussion, and again on a Sunday. So it kind of made a mark on me that when you're interested in doing something, you go for it at all costs, at all times. You're thinking about it constantly. And that reflects in the kind of work and partnership we've had for the last 2 years. So thank you for that. Thank you for being such a good friend of BHyve. And thank you for being here today.
It's a pleasure again, Ketki. So let's see how we can help all those who have joined this Teams call. So thank you for taking out time. And of course, I guess that uh, either you have been implementing some form of knowledge management system or you want to do that, and it's important we understand how we can get the most out of it. There are some challenges, but there are also ways to tackle those challenges. So I guess it's a way I see it, and let's see how we can make this a very useful session for everyone out here.
Perfect. Thank you, Vikas, for setting the context. And actually,
Yeah.
that takes us right to the topic at hand. We are discussing about how to articulate the ROI of knowledge management. so many leaders, many of whom are present in this meeting with us today, have to plan and justify the spends that they do for any platform, any technology, especially in the knowledge management space, to their other stakeholders. And so the key question for you is, when it comes to knowledge management, traditional financial metrics may fall short. You may not be able to always directly relate it to a cost saving or a time saving or so on. So in that case, Vikas, since you implemented BHyve at Rieco, from your experience, what are the tangibly explainable metrics connected to ROI in any company, and how do you sort of articulate that for in your context?
I think even the core ROI metric can be calculated through implementation of a knowledge management system like BHyve. So for one, we are all in a knowledge economy, and knowledge is no longer something which can be in the hands of few. So a certain democratization is needed, and a platform like BHyve does help disseminate this knowledge within the organization. Now, if you had to calculate what are the benefits, we had seen very tangible benefits. For example, right first time. So getting things done in the right way uh, was very clearly measurable, and defect rates were coming down. Um, Delivery lead times were coming down. So these were actual tangible measures which we could derive out of implementation of BHyve. The key thing here is that how to promote usage. So when we have users finding it adding value to their roles, they will start putting it to use, and that's where you'll start getting a good ROI. So the key thing is that knowledge dissemination is absolutely important. Promoting usage is key, and then you can actually get hard results out of this whole implementation. So I would say that whatever effort and money we had spent on BHive, we definitely have generated over 100% ROI. So it's not even a case of 10-20%. We say that the payback is immense, and in the long run it is even better because you would you would get the benefit of this over several years, because knowledge retained is knowledge gained.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Um, Vikas, when you said that look at it granularly in terms of a particular task that a person
Mhm.
is supposed to deliver, I distinctly remember you saying that can I have my engineers who are preparing proposals have all the knowledge related to that proposal, whether it is product, raw material, or shipping or so on and so forth,
Yeah.
any kind of cost estimations in one place, so which means they can turn around on their proposals much faster. So that is
Yes.
sort of at the start of the how do you say, the economic chain of actions that you take in a business. How do you track these granular actions at every stage, whether it is every stage of a project or it is every stage of your production, and say that okay, in this action this is what needs to be done, here is how a knowledge access can speed it up and give you the delta of doing better work faster across the entire value chain.
Yeah. So as I said, that when you establish any kind of a performance dashboard, you are looking at your various processes within the organization, whether it be order to cash or a product development cycle, or um, any kind of measurable processes. So once you define that this is where we are and this is what we are facing in terms of a knowledge gap or people who are not fully aware, and as the size of the organization grows, this starts becoming a very vital part of the whole you know infrastructure, I would say, because without
Yes.
that you may be getting crippled and you don't even know that that is because of lack of knowledge, and the person who is working on a particular part of the process is not able to get hold of that information or knowledge, which is very key to that step. So once you define that in this particular step I would like to measure this, and then you have people and you encourage people to use knowledge management system, you will start seeing definite improvements in that subsection of the process or a part of the process. So it is very easy to do that. So for example, um, if you look at a very typical manufacturing process where you look at PR to PO conversion, so purchase requisition is existing and you want to quickly find out who are the suppliers and who are the right people who can actually partner with the organization to deliver that. Now, if that information is been made available in terms of past performance or what is the knowledge each vendor or each partner
Yes.
brings to the ecosystem, you can quickly make a decision. So you can create, turnaround time improvements. You can improve accuracies of your conversion processes. So this is just an example, but so so whether it be, as I said, a product creation process or a manufacturing process or even simple accounting process, one can get a lot of tangible benefits if you start uh, looking even at the granular part of the overall process.
Perfect. Perfect. I love that you're bringing some of the examples that we actually did at Rieco into this discussion. I'm sure a lot of our audiences will find similar ideas that they are working on.
Right.
So, Vikas, from your perspective, what is the advice for leaders looking to justify ROI to their stakeholders? Are there any frameworks or methodology or easy low hanging fruits that you would say start from here? When we implemented at Rico, we first started with the sales team, knowing that that's probably the easiest low hanging fruit we can target. So any such pattern of thinking on how they should implement and gainfully get ROI from BHyve or any knowledge management tool, to then make it a culture of knowledge sharing.
Well, at a any business which is seeking to grow, growth comes from having the right set of resources, including your team, which is equipped. So today I saw one advertisement of HDFC Bank where
Huh?
they are planning to hire 500 relationship managers on board. Now, a relationship manager is supposed to add value to the customer by bringing the right products to the customer. What many of us might have noticed that relationship managers are often not well versed with the products, and one of the
Right.
reason is that the required information, clarifications, or the knowledge which people have uh, created by other relationship managers would have experienced, that all can be brought together and one can really bring a wealth of information to the relationship managers which they can work with the customers effectively. So the more empowered the relationship manager is and the more I would say information he or she has, I think that clearly adds value. So in terms of growth, any organization which is seeking, it's possible only by getting your people up to speed, and that's where platforms like BHyve come to help to rescue. And I think it is. I don't even need to say that you need to justify ROI to stakeholders because ROI is so clearly written. Even a 5% increase in sales revenue or productivity of the team could could easily recover all the
Of
investments you
course.
made in a KM like this. Hands down, absolutely. There is no need to even. It's so obvious. It's like walking out of the house and it's daytime and then you're saying that is the sun up there? Of course the sun is up there. So
Right.
it's as obvious as that.
Right, right. Fantastic. I'm going to open this up for audiences, Vikas. So, audiences, any questions you have for Vikas about how to think of ROI, any specific examples of teams or departments that you want to target on, would love to have that. You can raise your hand or you can post it in the chat here. We'll take your questions now. Meanwhile, one last one for you, Vikas, while we get questions. Um,
Hmm.
what is leadership's role in the adoption part? Because you reflected on adoption right at the start, and so I know you as a leader specifically took interest in driving knowledge management at Rico. What role does leadership play towards ensuring that use knowledge management and get the results from knowledge management?
It's huge, both in terms of driving adoption of the platform and the fact that when people see that you are active on that, either sharing knowledge or asking questions to enhance your own knowledge, people see that yes, there is a sincere effort to leverage this platform, and that's where people start adopting and start becoming avid users. So I do remember that in the first few months I was trying to be on the top
Of the
five
leaderboard.
of the leaderboard and then of course my team overtook me very quickly and I found myself struggling to be in the top 20, but that was the success I needed. So yes, leaders can uh, definitely shape the success of this knowledge management implementation by themselves being an active user of you know uh, BHyve and any other knowledge
Initiative.
management system. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm going to quickly
Oh,
check.
one more thing. I just
Yes.
wanted to, so I was seeing this one video on YouTube by Steve Jobs. It was an interview where he was talking about the role of content, and he said that organizations who are very process driven are good, but then if they lack the content, then they can't go far. Yeah, and he was also mentioning about how IBM as an organization is very process centric, and they tend to have process for everything versus let's say Apple. And then he also saw the downfall of Apple when the content was missing. Now to generate good content, I'm not talking of content only for knowledge management system, but the role of leaders in every organization is to create content, and content in form of anything, your own experiences, technical know-how, process information, key success stories. These are very important to leverage. So for example, in big organizations there are islands of success, there are islands of good stories, but they are not getting shared. And
Mhm.
BHyve provides a very good platform to share success stories. For example, how one got $1 million account, or how one got solved a critical problem which a company was facing. So these are very good use cases to implement BHyve. So I would say, yeah, go ahead. Simply just go ahead.
Fantastic. Audiences, any questions for Vikas? We're almost at time. We wanted to make this a really short, crisp session, but I will open it up. We also have a short feedback form, which is in the chat. This
Mhm.
helps us think of more suitable topics, think of more suitable speakers who can add their insights and give you, real perspectives around knowledge management and business efficiency. So please take a minute to fill that. Unmute yourself, ask any question. Happy to take that. I'm sure Vikas has some more amazing thoughts and experiences he can share. We'll give it a minute for that. Meanwhile, Vikas, what we've been doing at BHyve is to take the idea of ROI and try to articulate it in actual numbers to make it something as a tool that leaders can calculate and present. So the two things that we had, which worked the most for us, was realizing that the time loss of inefficiency of search and the inefficiency of onboarding are the two
Mhm.
areas where you can see a direct impact in terms of how much you can bring efficiency, how quickly you can turn around, whether it's a search result or whether it's how quickly an employee can start, showing results on the ground after they are hired. And through that, we've created a calculator of sorts. So this is also
Mhm.
a semi-launch for this calculator.
Lovely.
I'll bring it over in a second. We have a question from somebody. After adopting BHyve, what are some ways to measure the impact quantitatively um, on the business? For example, we send out a survey to users to understand how the quality of the search impacts um, their work and how much time they're being able to save in finding resources. Is there anything
Mhm.
else, Vikas?
Yeah, so as I said, it depends on the business which you're running. For example, if you were looking at a customer service department, then how quickly the call can be, how satisfactory the call was, or how quickly one could address the queries of the customer could be one very clearly quantifiable. So before implementation of BHyve and after BHyve, the other thing which could be again in terms of product development, again you're looking at overall time and right first time. Now these are all very quantifiable measures. Now how do you convert this into an ROI? For example, we had calculated what is the cost of one single mistake, which can cost you customer downtime, process downtime, or production downtime. So these were few things which we had calculated, and basis that, I don't have the exact numbers now, but we had figured out that um, with implementation of BHyve, the ROI itself was in excess of 300%. So that's the kind of value you can drive by implementing BHyve, because clearly both successes and failures are something which you need to capture. Every organization needs to capture, um, because there are users who are struggling with certain things. There are users who have succeeded in certain parts of the organization. So creating those and sharing it across a tool like BHyve helps users become more productive and more efficient in whatever they have to do. One last thing, it's important that those who are HR leaders out here, they need to also be keeping that in mind, that business users or business leaders will have to be playing a huge role in the success of such a system. So, so when they themselves start seeing that yes, this will help their own function area or the process area, they will start participating, and that's where the key lies. How to make um, the business leaders and business users use an ecosystem. So yeah, you'll have to drive them, because initially it's like, okay, I've already shared this in my email before, or I've done that. So this creates a very long-term database and long-term system for people to look into. Yeah, and it's very user friendly, very easy. So I guess sharing and retrieving information is absolutely no brainer out here.
Yep. Yep. And that is now, Vikas, much more powered by the generative AI we bring in, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take this moment, Vikas, to show you and everybody else the ROI calculator. It's in
Hmm.
beta. It's going to be live on our website later. So just as a fun experiment, people can go and they can plug in some numbers and check it out. Let me know
Definitely.
when my screen is visible. Uh, Hang on. Yes. Oh.
I can see myself. Okay. Maybe the.
Let's see where our ROI calculator is. Mm, So you just have to go to our BHyve website /calculator. We will have this link shared with you in chat and it'll come to you as a follow-up. And this is the savings calculator of BHyve. Like I said earlier, the two extremely low-hanging efficiency areas that a knowledge base can bring to you is how quickly people find the right information, whether it is written, documented information, or it's a person with the information. Say, I'm looking to understand vendor management with regards to a particular region, or I'm trying to see a past project with a customer, how quickly can I find that knowledge brings incredible efficiency into my work. And then the other one is how quickly newly hired employees can start actually working. Because I've had cases where really large conglomerate companies have said that, we hire people, we train them for about 9 to 12 months, and then their actual duration at the company doesn't exceed 18 months. So the time
Mm,
you spend
yeah.
in training them versus the time they actually contribute to your business goals is just imbalanced. And so we decided to take these two areas, search and onboarding and training, and see how efficiently BHyve can bring that into your everyday work. So this is the ROI calculator. What you can do is simply plug in the number of employees you have. So say I go with 500, 300. Um, I say that I have a 10% attrition, which means I'm replacing 10% of my existing employees with new ones. Plug in your average hourly salary, maybe as uh, 200 rupees per hour, maybe even lower. And the only variable and interesting metric here is how often do they need to find help, right? And so we've plugged that really low at something as basic as one search per day. Now, if you even consider a person coming once a week into the application, they're going to find at least 5 to 6 things that they need to get information about. And so, with even a one search per person per day, the moment you hit calculate, BHyve actually gives you cost savings and that you can get from a platform, a knowledge base like BHyve. So if your team is wasting X amount of time optimized for search, which is the BHyve generative AI search, we can actually give you savings of almost 21 lakhs here, 22 lakhs for that matter. So this is the savings calculator. This is our way of putting some kind of metrics and ROI, which we can give you at day zero, even when you start exploring BHyve. What then, of course, Vikas, as you know, our customer success team does is they come in, they spend time with your business leaders and create more metrics during the implementation phase to create more perspective around the ROI of a platform like BHyve.
Yeah, I think also I would like to add over here that we had been having a significant amount of talent onboarding over the last few years, and that included fresh engineering graduates, management graduates, and also lateral hires. And in terms of they getting access to knowledge systems, and getting to know what are the typical things which they need to know. So I think there it did reduce our overall onboarding time, and people were up to speed much faster than what it would have been earlier. So definitely, if I add that back into the calculation, the ROI would be even much more.
Yeah. Thank you. So, guys, this is the calculator. We'll send it across over to you all to try, play with. And the hope is that you find this calculator and, of course, Vikas's session with us today very helpful in how you think of quantifying ROI for a platform like BHyve. I'm going to check again if there are any questions, or then we can close for today. Looks like we've covered everything, Vikas. Thank you so much for
Great.
doing this.
Okay.
Thank you for being here. We obviously are very, very always glad to chat with you. So thank you, everybody else. Thank you for being here. We'll send
Pleasure once
across.
again. Yeah. And look forward to some more exciting stuff happening. And I think that ROI calculator is it's quite simple and very very easy to comprehend. What would it mean for some organization which is trying to implement this thing? And wherever there is a higher churn in the talent, that's something where these tools are immensely powerful. So to retain the knowledge, to retain various tacit information or tacit things of the organization. So great. Yeah, this is good. Lovely. All
Thank
the
you.
best for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Vikas, for
All
being
right.
here today.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody else. I hope you found this small capsule session helpful. We will contact you again for next month's session with more leaders coming in to speak about more aspects of knowledge management. Till then, thank you so much. Take care. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely week. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.